Good morning, LinkedIn friends. Welcome to another episode of Value First AI Daily, your collaborative AI intelligence report. Here, as always, with Mr. Lafakis. How you doing, man?
Doing well, Chris. Doing well. Another day, another feature.
Another day, another feature. That is absolutely right. And I love it when that feature is coming from my main man, Claude. And I just got to show the screen to do it justice. And we'll talk through it. Yeah, and this is what you expect from the place that invented MCP. I don't know if invented it is the right word, but they created the standard, and now we're getting more connectors, making it easier to connect. We talk about collaborative AI, making it easier to collaborate with all of the different softwares, that we've ever had to use. It's always been a big pain in the ass for B2B, and thanks to SaaS and the 17,000, apps, all doing things a little bit differently. And now MCP, Model Context Protocol, cuts right through that mess, man.
Yeah, and does it in a magnanimous way. I didn't post the videos yesterday. I didn't get around to it. I'll definitely be posting videos later tonight. This is, and so like I'm not gonna, I don't want to hype it up. I used the connectors last night. It was really cool, and it definitely feels like magic. My only drawback to it, and the only reason I say I'm not trying to hype it up, is because like it was a little slow. That might be because everybody was glomming onto it at the same time, so who knows? I admittedly did not try it at like midnight, so I couldn't tell you if during off hours it's different. But I can say that like this is, and so like we've been talking about like we only put out a couple episodes, but we got to pick that one back up. We were doing a Tech Stack Reinvented show, and this, what you're looking at, is what we talked about a lot on that show, which is the vertical for your tech stack is going to start living outside of your tech stack. It's going to live, it's so funny that people like knock it down to being like a simple chatbot interface or whatever. It's like, this is your new like UI. This isn't just like that's the mindset you guys have to sort of shift to, because ChatGPT is trying to create a browser, right? They're working on it. I'm sure they're going to release it soon. Perplexity has, just on limited basis, started releasing their browser. I've seen some stuff. It's magic. It's definitely like faster, more responsive than Anthropic's. But this is what I've been waiting for. Like I've been waiting for this for months now. Especially since the even announcement of Operator, but pretty much ever since Puppeteer was like a thing, I was pretty much just waiting, like, oh, I wish one day somebody would like turn this into something that like actually controls your entire PC. So yeah, that's not to jump the shark, but that's exactly what you're capable of doing now with Claude. is you're actually able to use computer use on your computer and not
Yeah.
in the virtual window anymore.
Yeah. And like, I think another way to think about it is instead of outside the stack, it's like you don't have to build the stack anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and like, why would you want to? Like, if you understand how AI works, why wouldn't you just hand over digital stuff? Like all of it,
Right.
right? Because this is what I'm just gonna read through these connectors and just let it sink in after I say the name of the connector, like what it does, right? Asana. Connect to Asana to coordinate tasks, projects, and goals. Atlassian. Access Jira and Confluence from Claude. Canva. Search, create, autofill, and export Canva designs. Cloudflare developer platform to build applications with compute, storage, and AI. Gmail, draft replies, summarize threads, insert your inbox. Google Calendar, understand your schedule and optimize your time. Google Drive, find and analyze files instantly. Intercom, access to Intercom data for better customer insights.
That's massive. If you use intercom, that's massive.
In video, which I hadn't heard of, but I'm interested in what it says. Turn
Yeah.
any idea into a full length video.
That now, so that one's a little, again, so like when I say it brings the, like you live outside the stack, I think we're all used to living in the CRM and adding, of course it's stack, you're adding stuff on, right? But it's weird now because of the fact that you're adding stuff on and you're having to like manually go to all of these places to go get all of this stuff, and maybe it's integrated in one place, and even if it is, it doesn't look right and you still have to sift. This is outside of that in the sense that you're still in the same normal interface that you've always been in. Nothing changes. Nothing looks different. You can find everything the same way you found it before. You can interact the same way you found it before. It's just grabbing and pulling into, right? So it's just tools now. It's taken software and turned it into tools. And so now, like, where I gotta say, it's sort of like a it's a pretty decent like 180, right? From where we were even sort of saying that like SaaS is dead. I still think that's the case. Like, I still think in about 12 months, SaaS is definitely dead. But but for now, because once you have agents writing software, like, forget it. But for now, yeah, like in video, what I'm assuming, I got it connected just to see. I've used it before. It's very cool. Like if you're trying to make marketing videos and stuff prior to VO3 being available, which, by the way, quick shout out, Image Gen 4 released as well, so silently. No one is talking about it. It's amazing. If you have not touched Image Gen 4 or Image Gen 4 Pro from Google, check it out. So in video is awesome. You can like basically you give it an idea, and what it does is it doesn't generate, some of it's generated, but most of it's like sort of stock placed. But basically what it does is it edits a video together with that marketing mindset. So the clips are where they're supposed to be, and it doesn't look sort of disjointed like a lot of other video compilers. So I'm wondering if that pulls into the artifact, and then you can download the video from the artifact. Like I'm wondering, I'm actually going to connect it now while you're doing that, because I want to see what the interactivity of it is.
Like we might do an episode of Tech Stack Reimagined tonight.
Yeah, probably.
Like, because to your point, this is the opposite of Microsoft Office adding apps into their own suite that don't integrate well with the rest of their apps and behave differently, whether you're in Planner or you're seeing Planner in Teams, or like that's the journey that we've been like settling for forever. The other egregious offender has always been Salesforce. The whole like HubSpot's whole positioning of crafted, not cobbled is because Salesforce just buys other companies, plugs it in, but there is no feeling of sameness. You understand you're in a different application every time you get into one of those new functionalities. This is this is cuts through that, right? And it brings it all into a place, into a conversational place that can just cut through all that noise. So we've also got linear, and this is a great example where I didn't know that linear even existed prior to like a couple months ago. And the new CTO at Profoundly, that was his, product management uh, software of choice, right? Now, and we've already been talking about it because he said there was an MCP, right? But we hadn't gotten around to connecting it. But now I don't have to learn a new software. I don't have to learn a new app. I can participate in the project management much easier, which turns out that's how I'm going to like participate, period. Like it's very this challenge of having to use additional systems is almost always at the heart of adoption, right? If it's not my main system, classic case is people used to doing emails and Outlook and Excel sheets, and then you try to get them into any other thing, it's very hard.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got Notion here. Connect your Notion workspace to search, update, and power workflows. PayPal. Access PayPal payments platform. Plaid developer tools. Monitor, debug, and optimize your Plaid integration. Sentry. Search, query, and debug errors intelligently. Square. Search and manage transaction, merchant, and payment data. Stripe. Payment processing and financial infrastructure tools. Workato. Automate workflows and connect your business apps. Zapier. Automate workflows across thousands of apps via conversation. And that's via the web. All right. And now that I'm reading that, probably why I can't get Canva to work on desktop. So
yeah,
what a user error there. But just think about like you've got an app, you've got a development platform here. You've got access to several different payment transaction options. Like it's all here. Like this is why I like calling MCP my customized platform.
right.
Literally, you have the tools to just build out your digital life the way that you want to, right? And that's where if you're one of these app companies, I don't know how do you not move to a token-based like pay model?
I was just listening to a podcast this morning with Arvind Srinivas, and he said the exact same thing. We heard the exact same thing from Ahmad Amjad Masad from Replit. This is the way that things are changing. I was telling my wife like 3 years ago when not when chat first came out, but basically when tokenization started becoming like a bigger thing and pricing started revolving around tokenization, immediately I was like, all right, that's it. Tokens are like, that's what's money. API is what's going to be your new means of like earning money, and like people using your tokens equals you getting paid, basically, right? And that was the thing that Arvin was talking about, was like usage-based models are becoming extremely attractive. So there's really, it's getting to the point where like all these, a lot of these companies, right? Big box companies, especially because you don't have too many options in a particular market, you're sitting there paying this crazy overhead monthly. And you're probably either not using the entire toolkit or not using enough of the toolkit or whatever it might be. And there are probably features elsewhere that you wish you could get, but they're locked behind paywalls or whatever it might be. In reality, if that same company were to switch to a usage-based model, they'd make even more money because the tools that people want are getting used. So it's usage-based, it's value-based. It's not based on, we make up the price and we make up what you can use and we're going to tell you. No. Just let your customers use your platform. Let your customers use your tools. Let them connect to your platform and connect to your tools and let them use that. and then you charge them based on that. Like just, and it's so easy. It's metering, right? Who's been doing this forever? Electric companies. Electric companies have been metering forever. You fill up on gas, metered usage. However much you use, that's how much you pay for. It's all over the place, right? But the only thing that it isn't, and I use this term lightly for once. The one thing that usage based doesn't allow for is for you to be scammy, right? For you to
Exactly. That's right.
that's what it
That's where
feels
I was
like.
going.
That's what it
Like
feels like.
17,000 apps. How many of them actually add value, right? And how many of them raised money? Like I just saw a report yesterday, I think, like the average payback, like customer acquisition cost payback is like 40 months, like plus for a lot of these companies. And that's
Wow.
with forced licensing, like monthly models, right? You can almost guarantee they're not going to get there like that fast with usage,
Well,
right?
and that's how like another thing that's getting talked about, if you guys don't believe me, just go out there and take a look, or like stick your head out of a media window, in a sense. The number of companies that have started up, I've been saying this is going to be a record breaking startup year. The number of companies that have started up that are already breaking 500,000 plus in revenue is pretty unheard of. And they're doing it, excuse me, they're doing it within a year. Going black 500K within a year. That should be pretty ridiculous to most of you. And the reason that that's possible is because of things like this, because of being able to make these connections and work super efficiently out of one target location, instead of, like, that's what's so cool about this to me, is that you just click, go log in, connect, come back to Claude, right? Like, let me just throw this up, get this set up, and now I can, this morning, it's like I'm writing invoices in PayPal out of Claude, right? And I can set up 3-4 invoices, no problem. And the customers are in there, so I don't even have to say anything complicated outside of their names, right? It's honestly like, it really does feel like magic.
That was another powerful statement that Amjad made at the AI Summit. Like, if you're starting up a software company, like, what are you doing raising?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing raising money? Like,
right.
That's the last thing you should be doing right now. And this is why, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's just for the web.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This is where, like, I start to see things that I'm not comfortable with because I've never.
Oh, come on.
But seeing it here versus seeing it somebody on a Reddit thread, like telling us how awesome their file management system has become. And it's like everything I've ever dreamed of, because I am a digital hoarder, like nobody's business, and my files are messy. And like, so yeah, I want to give that part like to AI as well. And
like, if you think, I gotta say, like, just because you said the file messiness stuff, it was one of the first things I kind of tested out, because my documents folder, right? You just kind of throw stuff in there, chuck stuff in there. And especially my downloads folder, right?
yeah,
So
like I'm hitting the capacity limits right now in my C drive, because I download a lot of shows and then I put them someplace, but then I never like get rid of the download files. So then I just wait to see the red, and now I go like delete a little bit, because heaven forbid I delete them all, because maybe I have not copied them to the new place yet.
Right.
This is the kind of stuff, man. We've been dreaming about this stuff. So I'm just gonna go through these real quick with a couple of examples. PDF filler, fill PDF forms with Claude Desktop. Control your Mac. Execute Apple script to automate tasks on Mac OS. Windows MCP. Lightweight MCP server that enables Claude to interact with Windows OS. We've got
buddy.
Airtable MCP server. File system, just let Claude access your file system to read and write files. Got a bunch of Apple script stuff. Read and send iMessages through Apple's Messages app. Figma dev mode. This is it. And this is just the beginning, right?
We've only just begun.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing is like file organization between the Windows MCP and file editor or file system. You're like I was able to basically, you know, just make a laundry list of like, hey, here's what's in this folder. And then like all the JPEGs and whatever they were, right? And then you're using Windows MCP. Okay, well, what does that mean? The way in which a lot of these because MCP is not like it's just the connector, right? The way in which a lot of the gosh, what do you want to call it? Like auto control, something like window, like whatever, keyboard and mouse control, I guess. The way in which a lot of them work is in order to work accurately, they have to take screenshots. So because it has to take a screenshot, it can see what's on your computer. And so I was able to make a laundry list of what's in the folder. And then I was able to ask Claude to go in and relabel all the photos in there according to what they looked like. So I don't have to go do that because that takes time.
Oh, man. And that's
yeah,
and you don't do it. Like, and then you can't find stuff. It's like, so you just download it again from wherever, from your phone, and like phone has these crazy names.
Yep.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
all of
that's
this
what's
nonsense
coming next, right?
just going away, right? If you,
And I mean, like it's gonna be on your phone by the end of the year, probably.
yeah, that's why we've been talking about the OS and browser stuff. Saw an article about Chrome OS and Android, like consolidating with Android. Right? You gotta anticipate that's like I was trying to find like it's because they need an AI like browser and OS. I couldn't find that in the article, but you got to imagine like this is a part of that journey. Google's not going to get left behind while everybody else is building OSs and browsers. And that's another thing. Like, don't be surprised if Perplexity launches or OpenAI launches, and then like next week, like Google's like, oh yeah, we got that too. Like all good here. Like just long enough time for people not to like flock over that way if you are already a Chrome user. Now, if you're not already a Chrome user, like you're not the target market for that situation anyways. But they're gonna have to do something to you know, keep those customers. But yeah, man, this is the new world, the new digital world, at least. And I don't know, like, if you have access to Claude and you can see what's happening here, like, it literally just time. Time is in the way of you getting value out of this stuff,
It's the only thing.
right? And now I'm more comfortable since I can see it in this interface. Now it makes me feel like it'll be easier for Claude to walk me through successfully connecting these things. Yeah, I just shared a story yesterday about when I first, like 2 weeks before the Google integration, the Google native connectors hit the cloud interface. I spent like a whole Saturday trying to set it up, right? And I was feeling on top of the world, like who needs devs? Like I've got this, never used command line before in my life, but it's going fine. And then I get 95% of the way, couldn't connect. Like I needed to go in and troubleshoot the Google API. And I could not do that. Like I don't have experience. I'm not a dev. So even though I got 95% of the way there, it was done. Like it was zero value, right?
Right.
Other than like the learning I got while I did it, right? But that's, I mean, if you're not a dev, like you really need these kinds of streamlined native tools. Because as Claude's walking you through it, as any AI is walking you through it, like the moment you have to go outside of that space into the Google API, into the HubSpot API, into the whatever, right? It's a different language. It's a different
Yep.
space. And if you've never been in it before, not only is it a pretty impossible learning curve in short order, that's where you start screwing stuff up. Like if you start playing around, especially with your paid licensing, like that's where like putting it in the hands of digital of an AI assistant, an AI collaborator to
Mhm.
navigate the APIs and like through MCP, like yeah, do that. Like, um, this is so exciting.
It really is. It really is. Um, you know, the like I you know, what's crazy to me is the idea of the connectors. So it's I know it sounds kind of odd. I think that Claude allows for this. I don't know. Yeah, it does. Because I was using it. Um, so what's nice is like with the Windows MCP, you can like you can control your entire PC with it just through asking, like typing in a prompt. It's not so fast that like once you hit enter, it's off and running and doing this thing and done within a minute, right? Not like the same as, you know, prompting it and getting the answer. When it gets to that point though, which will happen soon enough. I mean, I can admit that Operator is about 2x the speed that MCP is, or not MCP, but Claude computer use. Just even in the initial release of computer use from Claude, it was still I think it's just because they have to throttle. I don't think that they have the same amount of compute that most of the other guys have, which is kind of insane to know that like their model is that much better without necessarily having to have that much or like as much compute. Um, I don't know what else GPT-5 is going to bring along with it, but I can imagine it's going to be something along the lines of like a slew of features as opposed to like just the model release. I don't know if this is going to be something that comes along with that. I did very much like the statement from Anthropic. If you read the release on MCP connectors on the additional ones, they said specifically that they were like, yeah, we made it so it's agnostic. You can connect whatever model you want to. It's not, we're not trying to be specific to any particular thing. And it's like, that's insane to me that, they may not be open source in the same way of like sharing model weights, because that's probably the worst idea ever. Which, by the way, is the same reason why OpenAI did not release the free model or the open source model this week, because they're not just, I mean, like, yeah, there's security issues, but they're still sort of wrestling with like, hey, do we actually release the model weights or not? Because like once we do, we can't take it back. So yeah, it's just interesting to see what's been possible in just the first 7 months of this year. It's crazy to me how much we've gone from VO2 to VO3. I can guarantee you VO4 is probably going to drop very soon, because I've already seen VO3 Pro, and as soon as they do Pro stuff, that means the next one's on its way. GPT-5 is coming soon, which means all of the model variation goes away. It just comes down to the one model. Life it's getting simpler and faster every day.
Oh, indeed. And just to wrap, because I got to pay off like the visual and the experience here. I've shown this several times, but even it gets better, right? Like, and also not perfect. I've learned that I have to give it today's date to make sure it doesn't give me like December Google Calendar stuff. Like, I've not figured out a way to like, at first I said, please do a web search and confirm today's date. and that worked a couple times, and then it went back. So still work in progress there. But just good morning, Claude. It's Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Search calendar events, search messages, search Google Drive, right? Now this schedule, right? It's giving me the StreamYard links to the shows. It's giving me Zoom links to the meetings and who's in it. It's giving me the events link for the admin's hug later today with Casey. It's even telling me this lunch block was defended by Reclaim AI. Like, and that's just my schedule. There's other stuff after that. And that's without adding in, like, you click down here, Canva, Linear, HubSpot. When I have HubSpot connected, I have it doing stuff and doing task management in HubSpot. Add any of these connectors. And it's just like this. We're here, folks. Like, this is where it's at. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be more features, or we'll just have way more experience with what we've been talking about today. Either way, we're going to continue to have fun and continue to educate on what's possible with AI. Thanks so much, Nico.
No problem. See you guys.